Every time her husband goes on a business trip, she switches off all the CCTV in the house. I wonder why.
I've been with Carmen for 18 years, nearly 2 decades of shared memories, dinners, and holidays. But recently, things started to feel off. I travel a lot for my work as a cybersecurity expert, often leaving the
Well,
house under Carmen's care. That's when I noticed the odd behavior of our security
wait. And his job was a cybersecurity. Like, girl.
system. It would go offline for hours with no apparent reason. When I asked Carmen, she seemed clueless, saying she didn't touch it and mentioned possible power outages. But something didn't sit right with me. So, I did a little digging. I called our neighbor, a friendly guy always keen on neighborhood happenings. He told me there hadn't been a power outage recently, and I already knew that, but I wanted to talk to someone in the neighborhood. That got me thinking. I didn't confront Carmen with this discrepancy. Instead, I noted it, a small piece in a puzzling behavior pattern that was starting to form.
Okay.
On my next trip, I decided to take action. Waiting until Carmen was out for a spa day with her friends, I installed additional cameras, both indoors and outdoors.
That is so weird. I can't even grasp the concept. They've been together for 18 years. Again, I can't even imagine going like behind a husband's or wife's back and like installing a cameras without them knowing. Like clearly something's wrong. Like clearly.
They were hidden, not to be noticed by an untrained eye. I wanted to know what was happening when I wasn't around, and this seemed like the only way.
Okay.
A week later, another business trip came up. As expected, the security system went offline
Oh my
at the
god.
same time
She's
it
got too
usually
comfortable.
did. But this time, I was prepared. The indoor cameras were my eyes within the house. They showed a clear picture of what was happening.
What was happening?
Carmen was disabling the system deliberately. Each night, at the same time, she would turn
Same
it off,
time,
and that's when he would
woman.
arrive, just before midnight. He would leave before dawn, and that's when she would reactivate the security system. It was a shock, a betrayal of...
I mean, I'm not being funny, but like, she's not a very clever. Your husband works as a cyber security, and like you switch it off like at the same time and put it back on at the same time. Like the woman got just way too comfortable and thinking that she's got away with it. Like switch the times up a little bit. I don't know. Like try.
of everything we had built over the years. But I didn't confront her. I chose to act silently.
What did you
called an attorney
do?
and started the process of
Okay.
filing for divorce.
Clever.
I needed to handle
Sneaky.
this with precision and care for my own peace of mind. Carmen went to visit her parents for a few days. That's when I moved out temporarily.
Okay.
I wasn't abandoning my home. I just couldn't stand the thought of sharing a space with her after knowing the truth.
100%.
When she returned, she was puzzled by my absence. She kept asking, probing, trying to understand what was happening.
Typical
I
behavior.
kept my responses short and vague. You'll find out soon enough, I told her. The day she was served with divorce papers at her job, where she's a branch manager for a bank, must have been a shock to her. I could imagine her face, the confusion, the realization slowly sinking in. Her lawyer painted me as the neglectful husband during the divorce hearing, but
As usual, can I just stand? Very tastefully done. I can just imagine her face at work just dropped, okay? Her face, her jaw was on the floor. And how typical that we're here, that always the other side, when they try go for divorce or the kids or whatever they're doing, always they claim that the other side, the innocent side, is being a neglectful or violent or something along the lines.
the evidence was undeniable. The judge saw right through the facade,
Yep.
and it was game over for Carmen. After the divorce, she attempted to apologize, but I wasn't ready to hear it. The betrayal was too deep, the wound still fresh.
Well done.
I exposed her actions to our circle of friends and hers too. Some people will say it was petty, but I had to do it. This was a way to close that chapter of my life.
Absolutely.
Her request for alimony was denied. The judge saw her misuse of our savings, going out for dinners, buying things for him. It was another piece of the puzzle, another betrayal of our shared life.
Ew.
In divorces, financial transparency is a must. That was something I learned through the process. Bank accounts, savings, everything comes to light
Yep.
in the end. The only thing Carmen received was half of the proceeds from the house when we sold
Yeah.
it, a small price to pay for the peace of mind and closure I eventually found.
Absolutely.
I never found out who the guy was. Somehow, this guy was good. His face was never in the footage. He always had a hoodie on, or his back was turned toward the camera. After the divorce and the selling of the house, I also started exercising more, taking care of my body as well as my
Glow up.
mind. The runs in the early morning seemed like they gave me mental clarity before I started my day. About 3 months after the divorce, I was at the grocery store and there was a tap on my shoulder. It was Carmen. She wanted to talk to me.
Girl,
I
go
didn't
away.
have anything to say to her then. She insisted. I told her again she was wasting
gonna
her
say she's
time,
pregnant or
but she
something.
wouldn't give up. I told her she had 1 minute. She proceeded to tell me that she was lonely. She wasn't thinking right. Her friends kind of influenced her a little. I shook my head and walked away. A few days later, I changed my number. I didn't have anything to say to her. I was still angry at her, even after the divorce. I threw myself into my work, still traveling a lot for my job, even met a couple of women while I was away. One day, when I got back from a business trip, there was a large envelope at my doorstep.
How does she know where you live?
I didn't know who it was from, and I wasn't expecting a package. It was an SD card and a note from my ex-wife. I thought,
was that?
what the hell? I didn't give this woman my address.
Yeah.
How in the hell did she find me?
Yes, good question.
I was hesitant to put the SD card in my computer, afraid it might have a virus. I had an old computer that was still working and used that PC to play back the
Okay,
SD card.
clever.
It was my ex-wife, taking selfies in lingerie, telling me she missed me, all this crazy.
Oh.
I destroyed all of it. What makes her think I will touch her again?
Yep.
I wanted to call her and tell her to stop contacting
No,
me,
ignore
but I
it.
didn't want to give her my new number. Fast forward a month, I was walking into my home office at 7 o'clock in the morning, and guess who was waiting for me in the lobby?
Stop it.
When she saw me, she got up. I put my hand up and said no and told her to get out.
Like, what is up with people who cheat and then they suddenly, suddenly the love comes out of nowhere. This, the strongest love they ever felt, and suddenly they regret everything. Like, go away. Like, this guy is literally what everyone should be doing. He's having a glow up. He's healthy. He's focusing on his career. Like, he's living the life. Like, go away. Go away.
I told her I didn't have anything to say. She said please again.
That's stalking.
I said no.
That is stalking at this point.
She walked out with the coldest look on her face I have ever seen. When she gets out the door, our security guard looks at me and says, "Man, you need to take some precautions with that woman."
Yep.
He began to tell me that my ex-wife has been coming around a lot, asking for me.
Oh, that
He
is...
said she would sit in the parking lot for at least 2 to 3 hours looking for me. I thought to myself, doesn't she have a job? Well, that wasn't the last I saw of my
That
ex-wife.
is so cringe.
She ended up at my house at 3:16 in the morning one day, knocking on my door. Now,
No.
she was starting to freak me out.
You
When
and
I
me
was
both.
dating her, she never displayed this type of behavior. I told her to get away from my door. The next thing you know, she shouts "forget you" and throws a brick through my window.
Stop.
I called the police and made a report.
Hell yeah.
A few hours later, I went down to the police station to file an injunction to get a restraining order, but I was given a temporary restraining order. I didn't see or hear from my ex-wife again for at least 2 months. I was at work one day, and I got a call from our security guard telling me I had a visitor.
Oh my
And he told
God.
me it wasn't my
Oh,
ex-wife.
it wasn't. Okay.
It was a friend of my ex-wife. She began to tell me that my ex-wife has gone off the deep end.
So?
She tells me, after I rejected my ex-wife's advances, she has become obsessed and told me to be careful. Then she takes out her phone and shows me text messages my ex-wife has sent her. One of the texts she sent, she was telling her friend that she will not give up trying to get me back.
Listen, like so many stories, the cheating stories I have heard, and the thing, there's this special breed, I'm gonna call it special breed of people that, the reason why they cheat, or like they cheat when they have everything so good, and they get bored. So it's usually them couples that literally have the perfect other half. Well, there's no such thing as perfect, but everything is great. The husband or the wife is very attentive and gives them attention and love, and then they become bored and they cheat out of boredness, or they cheat because everything is too perfect. Like, if you think it's too perfect, go get therapy. Go see a psychologist. Like, what? Like, you think it's perfect, so you try to sabotage and ruin it? Like, they ain't healthy. Like, what? And then he shouldn't be responsible for whatever you live your life now. Like, he shouldn't be responsible for your feelings, or you want him back now. How is this his business? Like, get lost.
Well, after that, I went home early that day and installed new cameras on this house and bought a new security system. That's where I am right now.
So that's a wrap, guys. Let me know what you think. Like, these cheating stories are so crazy. Like, you should think before you cheat, like, if it's worth it, because the crazy thing is people never think they're gonna find out. People always find out. If you're cheating with a woman, so if you're a man cheating with a woman, let me just tell you, okay, with a 99% certainty, women talk. Women talk. That's gonna tell their friends that they're having an affair with a married man or blah blah blah. They're gonna tell someone else at work, colleagues, and trust me, someone knows someone that knows your partner. Guaranteed. Or even more, women like the power, and if something doesn't go wrong or doesn't go their way, because we're so emotional, they're gonna text your wife, they're gonna message your wife, they're gonna send the pictures, they're gonna send the receipts. So it's like, it's just pointless. The other hand, men, like, I think, like, it's easier when the women cheat with a man. Apparently, like, percentage wise, women get find out less, because in that situation women don't talk, and men also would, like, they just discuss things less, or they wouldn't discuss such a situation if they're sleeping with someone, with a woman that's married to someone. So yeah, like, you're gonna get find out regardless. So just think twice if you are gonna cheat. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.